Hey guys, hope everyone's doing really well today or tonight. I want to make a quick video on exactly why you should start running. Now, I'll get into a little bit of background in terms of why I started running, and I guess also just the benefits and kind of tips and tricks you guys can use to actually ease your way into running. Because I know, like for me, it was really tough initially. I could barely even run a couple of kilometers. I was overweight at the time, but we'll get into that in this video and exactly how I was able to overcome that and what I've been able to achieve because of it. So before we start, let's actually speak about why I personally chose running and why I think running would be really good for you. Now, running is a sport that it doesn't really require much money spent at all, right? If you have two legs and you're able to walk properly, then you can also start running. Now, would it be nice to buy all the fancy running shoes and the gels and the clothing and everything like that? Yeah, it would be great. But the reality is, most of us can start running with pretty cheap shoes. They don't need to be expensive. They could be $10 to $20 used. It doesn't really matter. And I've even seen people run in shoes that you probably shouldn't run in, and they're running on the treadmill, for example. So it just depends. But running really doesn't require much capital spent. And look, it can get expensive like anything else, but initially, there's really no requirement for much, just some clothes and some running shoes, really. Um, I think it's a little bit like swimming, right? Where you're able to build muscle and you're able to burn calories at the same time, which is awesome. Um, for me personally, it's my legs are quite strong now because I've been running for quite a bit, and I don't really go to the gym too often or anything like that. But my legs are like substantially more muscular than my upper body, so I should probably work on that. But anyway, it also improves your cardiovascular health. So my endurance is much better than it was a couple of years ago before I started running. Before I used to walk and just get puffed out from walking over an extended period, but now I can even jog for a long time and not really feel anything. So it's been really beneficial from that point of view. Um, for me personally, right, I do enjoy team sports, but I'm more of an introvert in terms of actually like doing exercise in sports. So you don't actually need anyone else to run. There's no requirement for anyone else to be with you. I quite like using the treadmill quite a bit, or if I do run, I'll go out by myself. And look, for some people, they don't have access to a treadmill, then they can run outside. And for those that aren't able to run outside, you could get a free gym membership for 7 days and use the treadmill there. So it really is something that's an option for everyone. Now, if you're more of an extrovert and you prefer being with other people, there are, depending on your city where you live, but there are generally a bunch of different run clubs, and if not run clubs, there will be routes online that you can kind of look up in your area. This running track, or how can I run this area? There's lots of information online to help you start out and get going. So in my opinion, unless you're physically unable to run or walk, there's really no excuse for not giving running a go. It really is available to everyone. And yeah, for me personally, in 2024, I was able to complete my first marathon, and I've signed up for a couple in 2025 as well. Um, Now, was it hard, and did I have to train up for it? Yes, of course, but was it worth it? I mean, it was so worth it that I'm doing two this year. So it was definitely worth it. And I'm sure a lot of people that do a marathon will tell you the same afterwards. Now, if you're a beginner and you don't know where to start, I personally, like I started small, right? So I was overweight. I got to 130 kilos at the time, and I'm 6'4", 6'5". So I am quite tall, but I was very overweight as well, and you could tell. So yeah, before then I couldn't even run 2 kilometers or a little bit over 1 mile initially. But now, obviously, I can do that without worrying about it at all. Um, but yeah, I did start very small. If I ran a kilometer, I was very happy with that. Now, for me personally, again, I bought some discounted running shoes to start off with from Asics. They were about $60, brand new, but clearance discontinued. Um, so I bought those to start with. I didn't really look into the different, whether it's a stability shoe, whether it's cushioned, whether it's this or that. It was just something that looked like you could run in it, and it said running shoes, so I bought them. And then I was able to kind of progress from there and buy some shoes that actually worked really well for me. And look, initially, I wouldn't worry too much about the micro, so the small things like your running form. Obviously, don't run looking down at the ground like this, but just run how you feel is normal. Don't worry about your thing like pace, for example, your cadence. Don't worry about fueling so much. Just work up to actually being able to do the run, right? If you can run, say, 5 kilometers and you're fairly okay with it, that is a fantastic base. That's a fantastic achievement. A lot of people can't run 5 kilometers without puffing out, so that's really good. And look, the marathon and whatnot will come later on. For me as well, when I did training or when I kind of worked up to that 5 kilometer mark, I made it really enjoyable. So, for example, I was listening to podcasts, I was listening to music. Sometimes I just listen to music and just reflect. If I was on the treadmill, I'd stare at the wall and just reflect on different things happening in my life at the time, and that was really motivating. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, if you're someone who can't be alone when they're running, obviously run with friends. Make it a thing. Go grab a coffee in the morning or after you run, and make it a little nice outing. I think that could be really cool. And yeah, the final thing here would be to see what you can do in terms of integrating it into your routine. For me personally, if I'd wake up in the morning and I had some time, I could shower, or I'm already in need of a shower. I could just run on the treadmill, right? And then I could have a shower after and be super clean. But I've also achieved my run for the day. So see what works for you. Some people don't really care about that, and they'll just run in the middle of the day when they have a lunch break. Some people prefer doing it at night, right after work on their way home. It doesn't really matter, but just make sure whatever your daily routine is, make sure you can easily fit it in and it doesn't clash with anything else. We don't want any excuses, at least initially when you just start. You want to be excited and be able to pop into your routine. Now, some running tips that I found very useful was, I guess, following people online and consuming their content. I know I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but I know their faces. Different people you see online that every day they're out there running, they're educating about their different nutrition strategies, the shoes that they wear, the different routes that they take. So it's all very interesting. It's quite motivational as well. When you're feeling a little bit like you don't want to run, watch some of those videos and I'm sure that will change. They're really putting in the work every day, so kudos to them. I would also see if you can organize a running plan. Now, look, you could use AI for this to put together, a draft running plan. If you put in some information like, how much you weigh, what you feel comfortable running, where you live, etc., there will be plans that are able to, either be done by a professional, like a running coach, or something like AI could also help put something initial together for you. And obviously, you can tweak that as you go. Now this is one I actually did also, but before I was ready, I booked in that marathon, right? And it gave me something to work towards. It was something I could kind of see in the future, and I was really excited to do. You're not going to be ready, right? And you may not be ready on the day either, but it's something that you have to do. And even if it takes you 7 hours, 8 hours, get it done because it's a great feeling. It's a great accomplishment, and you can only improve, right? Don't give up, or especially if you're in a race, don't give up, but don't think that you can't do it because you certainly can. If there's anything I've learned from running, it's that your mind gives up way earlier than your body does. Your body can put up with a lot, but it's normally your mind that will give in easily. So just keep that in mind. And look, long story short, right? running isn't for everyone, right? But if you're able to give it a go and you find it somewhat enjoyable, stick with it, all right? Because if you're enjoying and you're having fun with running, I mean, it is incredible what it can do for you. And look, I've just spoken about it's able to build muscle and it's good cardio and it's good to get outside. But what I haven't mentioned is the cognitive benefits of being able to run. The endurance. You're going to feel better. You're going to do better in all areas of your life, right? If this works really well for you, stick with it and kind of tailor and see how far you can actually take it. Some people become ultra marathoners. Some people might quit really early on because they say it sucks. Then find something else if that's you. But for people who are going to invest into running, it's great. It takes a lot of time and discipline, but it can be massively rewarding as well. So yeah, hope you guys have found some value in this video. Hopefully you guys actually start running if you've been thinking about it, or sign up for a marathon. That would be awesome. Even a half marathon if that's a little bit scary. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. But otherwise, hopefully you have a really good day and hopefully you start running. Okay, all the best. Bye.